Sports Scene is proudly brought to you by Telecom PNG Limited.
Good evening, PNG. Hope you had a great weekend and looking forward to a brand new week. I'll tell you what, weekend for us here is always very busy, believe me. Now, while thinking we can't even find time to socialize, but in actual fact, the good thing is, what we don't realize is that we actually do socialize with athletes and friends that we bump into every weekends, and making sure that we do collect some great content for this show.
That's right, Shen, and tonight is no different as we have some fantastic stories to share with you. Now, before we kickstart the show tonight, here's a look at what's coming up on the show. Coming up on the show tonight, we take a look at the Hong Kong Sevens competition between Papua New Guinea and Spain.
Can they get across to stop the try? No, they can't. In goes.
Cowboys match between the Tigers.
Now works his way free. Elijah Taylor. There was support.
And Yacht Club Sailing.
Yes, all that and more coming up on the show tonight. And not forgetting, if you've watched the Cowboys game last weekend between the South Sydney Rabbitohs, we will show you what exactly happens during and after the match. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, here's a look at the weekend sporting briefs.
The Knights taking on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Well, the home side have a slight lead, 6 points to 4 at the half-time break. They're on the hunt for their first win over the Bulldogs.
Tonight on Sports Brief, the NRL Telstra Premiership had round 6 of competition over the weekend. Of the 8 matches that were played, there were some that stood out. The Dragons and Brisbane Broncos smashed the scoreboards with some whopping margins between them and their opponents. The first match last Thursday saw the Sydney Roosters trampled by Broncos Fury and left at the wrong end of a 24-point deficit. The Broncos' Anthony Milford was the X-factor this time as Brisbane fought the way to a win. With only 2 wins from 5 games to the name and facing an opponent that is 4 places ahead of them on the points ladder, the Brisbane side knew it was a match they had to win. With much rooting for the Sydney Roosters to dominate the field of play, that was not the case when Brisbane Broncos took the field. Though the Bronx opening defence lineup was not strong as Roosters' Blake Ferguson found a gap to score early on. And Anthony Milford's massive hit on Mitchell Pearce knocked the wind out of the Roosters. Despite Roosters coach Trent Robinson's urgings for them to fight fire with fire, the Roosters were burnt beyond repair.
Under the bombs. Gavin Badger gets us underway. The first of 3 today on Bundaberg Rum.
And the St. George Illawarra Dragons were the talk of the day on Saturday. In the match against Manly Seagulls through captain Gareth Windop, they landed a try in the opening minutes with a dive over in the dummy half. It wasn't long before the Manly side realised they were going up against a very potent side this time. By the end of the match, the Dragons were at least temporarily first on the points ladder after the 35-10 win over Manly. To the Intra Super Cup, the SPPNG Hunters unfortunately lost to Sunshine Coast Falcons 14 points to 38. They are currently sitting on the 7th placing on the points ladder while the Radcliffe Dolphins, Sunshine Coast Falcons and the East Tigers hold the first 3 spots.
Ali Valley shapes across the field and here he is, a shot. 45 seconds to go before the break and they get clear, the chase away. Double trouble for the Uruguayans.
And in the HSBC Hong Kong Sevens, our very own the PNG Pupuks have been making exceptional performances. After beating Uruguay 26-21, the Pupuks went on to defeat African nation Guyana 31 points to 5. They went down to a tough Spain outfit 15 points to 0 in their third pool match of the HSBC Hong Kong Sevens 2017. With 2 points and a defeat, PNG now sits second to Spain with a 2-point deficit in Pool G.
Yes, and some great sporting action there. Now to kickstart our show for tonight, the PNG Pupuks Sevens team went down to a tough Spain outfit 15 points to 0 in their third pool match of the HSBC Hong Kong Sevens 2017. With 2 wins and a defeat, PNG now cedes to Spain with a 2-point deficit at the end in Pool G. And Shane, obviously you've been following the competition. What can you tell us about these games?
Yes, Godwin, after that result, both teams progressed to the quarterfinals. PNG went up against Uganda, and they did win their match against Uganda, and they progressed to the semi-finals. But Spain as well progressed to the semi-finals, and they beat Papua New Guinea in the semi-finals. So unfortunately, Papua New Guinea lost to Spain. And they return tomorrow, so hopefully I get to catch up with the team and the coach and find out what actually happened in the Hong Kong Sevens campaign.
So how many matches did PNG win altogether?
Well, in total, PNG won 3 matches and they lost 2 to Spain. So
yes, and we wish the boys all the best in their future competitions. Now we've put together the highlight of the HSBC Hong Kong Sevens, so take a look.
Valley shapes across the field, and here he is, a shot. 45 seconds to go before the break, and they get clear. The chase into Wade. Double trouble for the Uruguayans.
Registering the first 2 wins in day 1 of the tournament was utterly rewarding for the Pupuks. However, facing a more skillful and physical opponent in the same pool would test the team's core in defense. This was the anticipated feeling for Coach Douglas Guice and his men. Spain, riding on the back of their 2 successful day 1 match wins against Guyana and Uruguay, proved difficult for PNG to contain.
PNG go on the attack through Clement. Arthur Clement, ball in one hand.
The Spanish big forward pack dominating possession and eventually muscling their way in for the first try.
Stop him though. Too good. Angel Lopez.
Spain's 21 passes to PNG 2 would be the reason why PNG was left trailing Spain by 5 points going into half-time. Coach Douglas Guice's barking instructions during the break seemed to have lifted the side.
Our one-on-one sticks are very good, our squeeze is very good. In defense, we got them.
But a sin bin to William Tirang in the start of the second half left PNG defending with 6 men. Spain then took the advantage and crossed over for their second. Although the replay would show a double movement, the try was already awarded.
Initially, there is momentum had been spot. No leg power going on. What do you reckon, Willie?
Oh, I think it's double movement.
With 45 passes thrown by Spain and 9 to PNG, a try was expected sooner rather than later, and it came in the corner. The statistics showed PNG 39 tackles to 6 and 67 completed passes from Spain compared to PNG none. This statistics simply translates no ball, no tries. Despite the loss, PNG and Spain both qualified for the quarterfinals.
We'll take a quick breather now, and when we return, we have the men's softball grand final between PNG Power and Yokomo.
And round 1 of the corporate touch competition.
Welcome back to Sports Scene and to NCD Corporate Touch competition. So game 2 of round 1 yesterday with more than 15 matches. The 10 women's division play in stylish fashion. Take a look.
Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to rush when you're alone with me. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, baby. I feel it coming.
First up, Team Transport went up against Sojitz Ost in a close encounter. The opening try from Transport was quickly equalized midway through the first half by their opponent. Sojitz gained a point lead after that, and it wasn't long before the scoreline was leveled again. At halftime, the score was 2-all. The second half saw a more determined Transport team keeping Sojitz scoreless, and just before full-time they scored again, giving them a points lead. Meanwhile, Total Freight Solution and IEA had a similar encounter, though the TFS weren't going to let the win go the other way. After a 2-flat scoreline in the first half, TFS scored early on in the second half and made sure there was no try till full-time. The most heated match came from Pupuks 7 and MPSH. Team MPSH showed dominance early on with 3 tries. Pupuks 7 responded with just as much energy with 2 tries by halftime. Though they were not able to put down a try in the second half, MPSH held them off from scoring and in the process brought their own score to 5 with 2 more tries. And in the other matches, IRC defeated New Guinea Refilling 3-1 while Kutmon beat Lako 2-1.
Yes, and some very entertaining matches of touch footy action there. And in cricket, here's Dini Rose with all the update of the PNG Hebo Barramundis cricket competition.
After the 2-1 loss to the United Arab Emirates in the round 5 of the World Cricket League Championship, the Hebo PNG Barramundis are now playing their Intercontinental Cup fixtures. A disappointed skipper Asad Valas said despite being equal on level of play, his team did not grab opportunities when they came up. He said it was a jittery start for them when they ended up losing by 82 runs to host the Emirates, but their comeback in the second ODI showed improvements in fielding and bowling with that 26-run win. The PNG captain admits there are a lot of improvements to be done in the batting department. As of last evening, they are trailing the Emirates again by 95 runs.
And now to Port Moresby men's softball grand final between defending champions Yokomo and PNG Power. PNG Power pulled off a nail-biting performance against defending champions Yokomo. At the Bassini Diamonds over the weekend, PNG Power hit out hard in the first innings, making their intentions known, but reigning champions Yokomo would hit back to register a 5-2 scoreline. The Sparkies extend their lead to 6-2 with some changes made at the dying stages of the third innings. That, however, didn't help. Yokomo soon registered 4 runs to leave the scores at 6-all. There were no runs in the 4th inning until Michael Parham smashes a home run in the start of the 5th inning, while the first base catcher scored his 2nd run with slight lead of 8-6 in favor of PNG Power. However, Yokomo with the 8-7 return in the final stages of the 5th inning was overshadowed by Edward Senna, capitalizing on Yokomo's error in field to advance bases and took the lead by 9-7. There were no runs in the final innings to score points. With final score stood at 9-6, PNG Power had done enough to upset the reigning champions Yokomo. A satisfied PNG Power head coach Simon Daniels said his team have been consistent throughout the season and deserve the win.
I'm very proud of what they've achieved. Basically, we've worked as a team throughout the season and it's paid off. The hard training, the sacrifices the team's made.
Just leading up to the finals, how are the preparation of the boys heading into the finals?
Basically, it was just one game at a time, you know, no rush, and the concentration of the boys and the commitment of the boys. We've won previously, but basically we've had a long drought and we picked up this year, and we're proud of that.
Season over now, what's your plan now moving forward?
Basically, let the guys rest. I mean, it's been a long season, and basically the guys need the rest.
Just your final feeling about the win of the boys now, and just describe what's the feeling within the supporters as well as the team, and you as a coach.
Well, basically, I think everyone's felt that they've achieved everything, including our supporters, and we have to thank our supporters, our sponsors who've been behind us, and we're actually proud of that. The boys have done it for the supporters and the sponsors.
Are we expecting a strong comeback next season to defend your side?
We'll see. We'll take it one day at a time, and we'll see how next season comes out.
Moonlight, moonlights, moves like J-Lo. Tell me what you want from me, I'll do it if you say so, 'cause you're the only one for me.
Yes, great stuff there. We'll take another breather now, and on the other side, we'll take a look at sailing and International Sports Day. Stay in tune. Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. Thank you for keeping us company. And yes, the 2017 Royal Papua Yacht Club Sail Past and Commodores Cup race took place yesterday at the Port Moresby Harbor. Under great clear sky, the sailboats, canoes and yachts were all out in numbers to open the first race of the 2017 season. Check it out. The Royal Papua Yacht Club opened the 2017 season with Sail Past, the event which saw participants turning up early in the morning to prepare their sailing boats before heading out to sea. The event began with the opening prayer, blessing of the fleet by Pastor John Toguata. The prayer was heard through the VHF signal radio transmission before Sail Past began. A fleet consisting of hobby cats, laser sailing boats to V6 Baja canoes, and yachts to big A-class powerboats. And the Peewee, little mini-sized sailcraft, captained by children as young as 10 years old. The committee boat Savannah C78, as it is called, was boarded by committee members waving and saluting each craft as they pass. Shortly after the sail past, the Commodores Cup yacht race got underway, with hobby cats and laser boats doing 2 laps around a designated course, while the A-class sailing boats hit the 15 nautical mile race around Gemo, Esade, Tatana and finished back at the harbour. Royal Papua Yacht Club Administration Manager Ella Kasu said this was just the start of a lot of exciting events lined up for this year.
Preparing for the Coral Sea Classic race, which is from Port Moresby to Indonesia, and at the moment we're already getting queries from some yachts who will be participating. This will be in September, and we should be advertising it as the date comes nearer.
Yes, and what a beautiful day it was. And Shane, obviously, I believe you were on one of those yachts sailing across to nowhere. I have no idea where, but what can you tell us about that day?
It was an exciting day for me. You know, covering water sports is a thrill of its own, and for me to cover sailing at this day was exciting. We get to see not only sailing boats but big power boats as well. During the race, it was estimated 15 nautical miles around the harbour before coming back to the finishing point, as well as the 10 kids get to sail in the small hobby cats. Yeah, it was exciting.
So
looking forward for another.
Looking
forward for another season, and it's coming up, I think, in the mid of April, and as well as May, the 3 Peaks race, as well as some international competition coming up. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to cover that event.
So what would you say was the highlight of that day?
Okay, well, seeing those small kids sailing through the waves with those small sailing boats called Peewees, I believe Peewees. So yeah, around 15 or 16 of them get involved in that competition, and it was pretty exciting,
Yeah, and I mean, as you've seen, it's some great camera work there from some of our camera crew. Very fantastic sky views of the sails going by.
Yes, what a beautiful day it was. Now moving on, we'll take a look at the Sports International Day that took place last week, as well as the launch of the school's rugby league competition by Minister of Sports Justin Tichanko and Education Minister Nick Kuman. Check out the highlights.
The National Schools Rugby League program, as it is now known, was officially launched today by Sports Minister Justin Tachanko and Minister for Education Nick Kuman, in the presence of school children and representatives from PNG RFL.
Basically completed the jigsaw puzzle of the career path for a rugby league player. From the juniors now through this new program that's been launched, right through from a Digicel star when it comes to rugby, right through to a hunter and then to a kumu.
The National Schools Rugby League program is a school-based rugby league program that targets children within the age group of 14 to 18, playing in divisions of under 14, 16 and 18.
It's the cornerstone of PNG RFL's Kids to Kumus vision and our 3-year strategic plan for rugby league in Papua New Guinea. We believe that if we plant good seeds now in our youth and nurture them well in the core values of respect, honor, discipline, friendship and fair play, they will become good sports ambassadors and good citizens of our country.
Whilst the program is rugby league based, it is aimed to leverage the popularity and passion for the code in the country to encourage youths to embrace education and become good citizens. This was further explained by Minister Kuman.
PNG National Rugby League School Program is a program that I'm pretty sure that we can be able to not only academically purpose where students are in school system.
The school's rugby league competition will run in conjunction with the education calendar during the 5-month period from April to July, with the national championships in August. Sports Minister Justin Tachanko said this program creates a better pathway for future talented rugby league players. 26 school competitions have already registered throughout the country for the 2017 season, but this number is expected to increase before the closing date at the end of this month.
The International Sports Day for Development and Peace is a day that signifies the development of sport. This is an event recognizing the importance of sport in the country. Different organizations around the country also played their part in commemorating the day. They visited Coronation Primary School, where students took part in fun activities organized by PNG NRL, Cricket PNG and Karate PNG. Coronation Primary was the only school visited today, but there are hopes of getting more schools involved in the years.
We just chose Coronation School, just a small activity to commemorate the day, but I think going forward in future we'd like to do a lot more with more other schools. We have a lot of sports, so we can use a lot more sports to go out and promote sport during this time.
Yes, and some great stuff there from the International Sports Day and sailing. Stick around, because coming up next we have the NRL match between Cowboys and Tigers from the weekend, and as promised, behind the scene of the Cowboys match between the Rabbitohs.
Welcome back. And yes, the West Tigers shocked the NRL community after their impressive 26-16 victory over the Cowboys. This is the second loss of the Cowboys, and for the Tigers, it's their second win. Take a look.
To Moses to put up the first time.
The Tigers were the first to post points after a silly ball handling error by the Cowboys.
Lost the ball, Little John knocked it forward. I thought that he's going to like this even.
The Tigers would get their second try through Elijah Taylor a few minutes after.
Moved him out to the wing. Beautiful pass back on the inside.
The Tigers broke through the Cowboys' defense in a series of offloads, then opens up the following play.
Elijah Taylor, there was support Moses.
10 minutes later, Jason Taumalolo muscles his way through to score the Cowboys' first points. The Tigers furthered their lead through Matt Milrick.
He has scored.
The Cowboys were the first to score in the second half from Cohen Hess.
Jonathan Thurston perfectly weighted Hess.
6 minutes before full-time, Cohen Hess got his second try to narrow the scoreline.
Cohen Hess, so strong, too strong and stop.
But a late try from the Tigers sealed their victory.
Leonard has scored.
Yes, and some great action there, and I'm very disappointed about the Cowboys losing to Tigers. But Shane, all I can say is that the season is not over yet.
Yes, Godwin, definitely. Now, we've been watching NRL matches on TV, but you get to witness firsthand on the stands, looking over. Share with us your experience of actually watching the match on this grandstand.
Yeah, well, Shane, you know, I've lived in Townsville, and it's not the first time I've seen the Cowboys play with the Rabbitohs. And for me, you know, watching the game firsthand brought so many fond memories. But to see, you know, the competition itself was just amazing, and to have some Papua New Guineans, you know, that I traveled with to watch the game was that was the highlight of these Papua New Guineans. And but you know, we put the package together for what happens during the break and after the competition's over. And anyway, all like just take a look.
Wow, exciting stuff there, Godwin. Hope I get to witness one of those matches live, actually watching the match on the stand. What's the feeling, you know, actually being there and watching those two Queensland rivalry between Cowboys and, sorry, not Cowboys and Broncos, but Cowboys and Rabbitohs?
Shane, I think you better walk out the studio because you're talking about something else. Anyway, it's always good to watch these competitions, you know, competing in the field, but it's always different to watch the game rather than watching it on TV like many of us do not here in Papua New Guinea.
Speaking of that, Godwin, I think New Guinea did launch the new flight to Townsville. Will that enable most of the Papua New Guineans, some of them, like for instance me, to go over and watch the game between Cowboys and, say, Broncos? I'd say Broncos because I'm a big fan of Broncos, so hopefully I get to see that Queensland rivalry there, you know.
Well, that's
witnessing it on site at the grandstand, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Shane. Now, with direct flights between Port Moresby and Townsville, it's only 1 hour, 40 minutes. So if you've got that passport sitting there, if I were you, I'd be applying for a visa just to watch the Cowboys or any of your favorite teams. And it's only 1 hour, 40 minutes. So I don't see any reason why. I mean, it's 2 hours to Brisbane, 1 hour, 40 minutes to Townsville. The atmosphere is great. Everything's good about the NRL matches, yeah.
Well, Godwin, thank you for that. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show. If you have missed anything on this episode or previous episode, you can go online to our website at emtv.com.pg. Or if you have any sporting events that you'd like us to feature on our show, drop by to Garden City Level 2 and ask for any of our sports reporters. We'll be more than happy to assist you out.
Yes, that's right, Shane. Or you can find us on Facebook at EMTV Sports. Otherwise, shoot us an email at sports@mtv.com.pg. On behalf of Shane and myself, thank you.
Good night, Papua New Guinea.
Good night.
Sports Scene was proudly brought to you by Telecom PNG Limited.